Welcome to episode 11. Today we're going to take a look at The Thought Fox by Ted Hughes, and we want to make sure that you stick around at the end because we have a brand new segment that we're adding on to today's episode. So I picked the poem, John hasn't seen it, here we go. The Thought Fox by Ted Hughes. I imagine this midnight moment's forest. Something else is alive beside the clock's loneliness in this blank page where my fingers move. Through the window I see no star. Something more near, though deeper within darkness, is entering the loneliness. Cold, delicately as the dark snow, a fox's nose touches twig, leaf. Two eyes serve a movement that now and again, now, and now, and now, sets neat prints into the snow. Between trees and warily, a lame shadow lags by stump and in hollow of a body that is bold to come. Across clearings, an eye, a widening, deepening greenness, brilliantly, concentratedly, coming about its own business, till, with a sudden, sharp, hot stink of fox, it enters the dark hole of the head. The window is starless still, the clock ticks, the page is printed. Okay, so I picked this poem, which I could barely read, because this is actually one of my all-time favorites, and I remember reading this for the first time freshman year of college in a poetry class that I was taking, and it just struck me because it's pure imagery, and he takes something so abstract and makes it concrete, which is incredibly hard to do as a writer. If you look throughout the alliteration that happens right from that first line, midnight moment, deeper darkness, delicately dark, all the way to the last line, page is printed. He's repeating those hard consonants at the beginning of the words to make the language stand out, make it memorable. That repetition of now and now and now, because he's talking about in your head in that moment as you're thinking, right? And then also, I don't know why, it's kind of a weird line, but that last stanza, first line, sudden, sharp, hot stink of fox. I'll let John talk about it. And also the eye that's coming across towards him from the darkness is kind of a weird, creepy image. So I'll let John talk about it, but it's just all about imagery for me in this poem.
Well, I reacted because that was the line I was going to react to. Wow.
Okay, well, go for it.
Sudden, sharp, hot stink of fox. I mean, wow. Talk about sound.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes it's hard to talk about the sound of a poem, I think, but like, man, that is staccato and blunt, right? I mean, that's a forceful line. And I love it in a poem when a line just hits you like that, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. That was very powerful. I guess my first reaction was like, wow, like, what a cool poem, right? I've never read it. But yeah, like you were saying, like something so abstract as thinking, and to turn it into a fox, but it's still thinking, but it's a fox, and it plays this on this border, right? Of it's real, but it's a fox, or it's a thought. And then, but the idea of the star, through the window I see no star, and then at the end, the window is starless still, the clock ticks, the page is printed. So I don't know, is it a triumph? Like he's done it, he's printed a page, because the page was blank at the beginning.
Yes, he's writing the poem as he's going in a way.
So he's triumphed, but it's still starless. So that, I mean, that's kind of hopelessness almost.
Yeah, deeper darkness is entering the loneliness. So he's sitting there by himself. So he's almost commenting on the writing process. You have to kind of sit there by yourself and think.
Wow, cool poem.
Yeah. Well, that's all right. Yeah. Okay. This just one of those. You can picture it in your mind. The sudden, sharp, hot stink of fox. I mean, I can smell it. It's right there. It's just such a cool sensory image. So my question for you is: have you ever had a moment like this that you can pinpoint where you got it? You had that aha moment. A light bulb went off. Something you were creating. Something you were thinking about. And what was that moment for you?
All right, so we now have a new segment. I don't know how many times we're going to do it, but we're going to try to recommend books or things about poetry that you might find useful or interesting. Today I have a book called The Hatred of Poetry by Ben Lerner. So the book is called The Hatred of Poetry, but it actually becomes an argument for the power of poetry. And I think if I read it correctly, it's that people hate poetry because it never quite lives up to its promise. Like a poem is an attempt to be perfect, and we can't be perfect, so people hate it. Even poets hate it. And so I don't know. It's really interesting. It's short. It's an easy read. I do recommend it. just as a different way to think about poetry, maybe. So,
I'm definitely going to read it because just the title alone, and then to learn he's defending poetry by saying it's the hatred of poetry, it sounds interesting.
All right, well, thanks for watching. Please join the conversation in the comments on YouTube or on Twitter at Trojan Poetry DGN. Also, check out our website at trojanpoetrydgn.blogspot.com.